Welcome back, my YouTube channel. I am telling about, for this coin, the 1987 Mexican 5 pesos coin, covering its political, economic, artistic, and cultural significance. Not just the coin itself, but the era that produced it. The 1987 Mexican 5 pesos coin. History, meaning, and legacy. Introduction. The 5 pesos coin of Mexico, minted in 1987, is far more than a simple medium of exchange. It is a compact historical document struck in metal, reflecting decades of political ideals, economic turbulence, artistic traditions, and national identity. Issued during one of the most unstable periods in modern Mexican economic history, this coin belongs to the final generation of the old peso system, a monetary era that would collapse only a few years later under the weight of inflation and structural reform. To understand the 1987 5 peso coin is to understand Mexico in the 1980s, a nation grappling with debt, inflation, shifting political philosophies, and the challenge of maintaining national symbolism while its currency steadily lost purchasing power. This essay explores the coin's origins, design, production, economic context, and lasting significance, placing it within the broader sweep of Mexican monetary history. Historical background of Mexican coinage. Pre-Hispanic and colonial roots. Mexico's monetary history predates European contact. Mesoamerican civilizations, such as the Aztecs, used cacao beans, cotton cloth, cuautli, and copper tools as mediums of exchange. Value was measured through utility and ritual importance rather than abstract currency. With the Spanish conquest in the early 16th century, Mexico, then New Spain, became the heart of one of the world's most important silver economies. The discovery of rich silver deposits in Zacatecas, Guanajuato, and Taxco led to the establishment of the Casa de Moneda de Mexico in 1535, the oldest mint in the Americas. Spanish silver reals minted in Mexico circulated globally, especially in Asia via the Manila galleons. Independence and the birth of the peso. After achieving independence in 1821, Mexico retained the peso as its basic unit of currency. Throughout the 19th century, Mexican coinage reflected political instability. Empires, republics, invasions, and reforms all left their mark on designs and denominations. The Mexican peso, based on silver content, became a respected currency internationally. However, repeated wars and fiscal crises slowly weakened confidence in the monetary system. 2. The 20th century and the evolution of the peso. Post-revolutionary monetary reform. The Mexican Revolution, 1910 to 1920, devastated the economy. Competing factions issued their own currencies, leading to chaos and inflation. After the revolution, the government sought stability through centralized monetary control and symbolic coinage that promoted unity, nationalism, and revolutionary ideals. During the mid-20th century, Mexico experienced the so-called Mexican miracle, a period of industrialization and economic growth from the 1940s to the 1970s. Coinage from this era maintained stable denominations and strong purchasing power. The crisis years 1970s-1980s. This stability unraveled in the late 1970s and early 1980s. Heavy borrowing, declining oil prices, and global interest rate shocks led to the 1982 Mexican debt crisis. Inflation surged, government spending was slashed, and the peso rapidly lost value. By the mid-1980s, inflation rates frequently exceeded 100% annually. As a result, higher denomination coins like the 5 pesos, once meaningful sums, became everyday pocket change. 3. The old peso system. The 1987 5 peso coin belongs to what collectors call the old peso, MXP system. Under this system, un peso, 100 centavos. But inflation rendered centavos nearly useless. Large numbers became routine in prices and salaries. By the late 1980s, coins of 1, 5, 10, 20, 50, and even 100 pesos were circulating, many with minimal purchasing power. In 1993, Mexico reformed its currency by introducing the nuevo peso, equal to 1,000 old pesos. The 1987 5-peso coin thus represents 5 or thousandths of a new peso, a striking illustration of inflation's effects. IV. The 1987 5 pesos coin, basic specifications. While exact specifications vary slightly by mint batch, the 1987 5 pesos coin generally features denomination 5 pesos, year 1987, country United Mexican States, Estados Unidos Mexicanos, material copper nickel alloy, shape round, edge reeded or smooth depending on issue, mint Casa de Moneda de Mexico. The coin was mass-produced, intended for daily circulation rather than commemorative purposes. V. Obverse design, the national coat of arms. The eagle and the snake. The obverse of the 1987 5-peso coin bears Mexico's national coat of arms, one of the most enduring and symbolically rich emblems in the world. It depicts a golden eagle perched on a prickly pear cactus, devouring a snake. This imagery originates from Aztec legend, in which the Mexica people were guided by their god Huitzilopochtli to found their city, where they saw this sign, leading to the founding of Tenochtitlan, now Mexico City. Symbolic meaning. The design symbolizes triumph over adversity, divine guidance, and destiny. The fusion of indigenous heritage and modern nationhood. Surrounding the emblem is the inscription Estados Unidos Mexicanos, reaffirming the country's official name and republican identity. ZVI. Reverse design, denomination and style. The reverse side displays the large numeral 5, the word pesos, the year 1987. The typography is bold and utilitarian, reflecting the coin's role as a practical object rather than a luxury or commemorative piece. Design philosophy. By the 1980s, Mexican coinage emphasized clarity and efficiency over ornate decoration. Inflation demanded fast recognition and durability, as coins circulated rapidly and were frequently handled. 7. Production and circulation. Mass minting. The 1987 5-peso coin was minted in very large quantities, reflecting the need for higher denominations in daily commerce. Unlike earlier silver pesos, this coin had no intrinsic precious metal value, a crucial shift in monetary philosophy. Everyday use. At the time of issue, a few pesos could buy basic items such as bread or bus fare. Salaries were paid in thousands or millions of pesos. The coin was widely used in markets, transportation, and vending. However, inflation quickly eroded its value. By the early 1990s, 5 pesos could purchase very little. Inflation and economic context. The human cost of inflation. For ordinary Mexicans, inflation meant rapidly rising food prices, shrinking real wages, difficulty saving money, loss of trust in the peso. Coins like the 1987 5-peso piece became symbols of this instability, solid, tangible objects representing a currency that felt increasingly unreliable. Government response. The Mexican government responded with austerity measures, privatization of state industries, trade liberalization. Eventually, monetary reform. The 1993 currency reform effectively ended the era to which the 1987 coin belonged. 9-day monetization and withdrawal. After the introduction of the nuevo peso, old peso coins were gradually withdrawn from circulation. The 1987 5 peso coin ceased to be legal tender. Many were melted down or discarded. Others were kept as souvenirs or curiosities. Today, it holds no monetary value in circulation, but retains historical and collectible significance. X. Numismatic value today. Collector interest. The 1987 5 peso coin is not rare, but it is collected for. Historical context. Typesets of Mexican coinage. Inflation-era currency collections. Market value. In general, circulated examples are worth very little monetarily. Uncirculated or mint state coins may command modest premiums. Value is mostly educational and historical rather than financial. Z. Cultural and symbolic legacy. The coin serves as a reminder of the fragility of monetary systems, the lived experience of inflation, Mexico's resilience and adaptability. For many Mexicans, such coins evoke memories of a difficult but transformative period, before economic stabilization and integration into global markets through agreements like NAFTA. D. The 1987 5 pesos coin as a historical artifact. Seen today, the coin is a teaching tool for economics, a symbol of late 20th century Mexican history, a bridge between traditional metal coinage and modern monetary systems. Its modest appearance belies the complexity of the era it represents. Conclusion. The 1987 Mexican 5 pesos coin is not valuable because of its metal or rarity, but because of its story. It embodies a moment when Mexico stood at the crossroads of crisis and reform, tradition and modernization. As part of the final generation of old peso coinage, it marks the end of an era shaped by inflation, economic experimentation, and national perseverance. In the palm of one's hand, the coin carries centuries of symbolism, from Aztec prophecy to modern economic policy. Though long removed from circulation, it endures as a silent witness to history, reminding us that money is never just money. It is a reflection of the society that creates it.